Hi everybody, I'm Ed.
And I'm Barb.
And we're the Streeters.
So our first show is going to be about stained glass.
Along with other things, we're going to be talking about the fabrication of a leaded glass window.
I think that the goal was to make that cross glow. So the contrast between the blue and the oranges and reds played together to make that. You'll see in the very end of the video how that
It
just
all
glows,
just came together,
and
right?
that's only natural sunlight behind that window.
So the cross, once you come inside and we start putting the cross together, the cross is a variety of shades of gold and red and textures of those colors as well. This window consists of about 210 pieces of glass. Finish it that way. Because this was a round window, I actually started in the center, which was the base of the cross, which is in the middle of the window. And this gave me lines to work off of as well, because there's nothing worse than having a cross in the window and it's crooked.
Yeah, and you'll see in the photos that are coming up and the video that's coming up that he makes sure that that cross is straight all along the process when he's building the window and when he's soldering the window. He wants to make sure that he's staying within his pattern lines so that when he's finished he doesn't have a cross.
That's kind of cattywampus because there's nothing worse than that. In the center of the window is where we use that orange-red color with a gold hammered that texture to produce. You'll see in the video, you'll see that flame in the center.
And it sparks.
And it just kind of sparkles. And you know what? If you hold your hands out like that, you can feel the heat.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either, but the majority of them are in what we call the background or the main body of the window. And then you can see I've started on the base of the centerpiece of the window. Yeah, no, just finished the circle on this window, closed it in, I'll put the last section together. Now we're soldering the window, which is the first phase of the finishing process. So we're going to solder each one of these joints where they come together. So then we'll just, as we come across with the soldering, so not to be me laying in it, I just start up at the top and work my way around. So for those of you that have trouble soldering, here's just a quick tip. Whether you use a soldering iron or a soldering gun, the optimum way to solder is to put your solder straight down, melt it, and pick straight up. And as you do that, you'll end up with a T, which is like right here, straight up. End up with a T. So straight down and straight up, and there's your T. Your first tendency, because you're soldering, is to play with it, move it around. The best thing to do is to heat it, drop it straight down, 1, 2, pick straight up, and move on to the next one. Okay. Hey, welcome back everybody. We're finished with the leading part of the window and the soldering part. Now we're working on the glazing part, or the waterproofing. So we're waterproofing the window itself, and also during this process we are cementing the glass to the lead. So it allows us to not only waterproof the window, but it also reinforces it and makes it very rigid and strong. So once this process, we use a glazing compound and we rub it into all the cracks. We're putting glazing compound on, and now once we do that, then we'll just take and run around the edges, clean all that up. And then we're going to burnish the entire window like that right there. So it's going to polish it and bring out the luster of the lead. It's also going to polish the glass. This is my version of it. Was told to me by an old stained glass guy, and we actually use a steel base for steel glazing compound, and DAP for the steel sash windows, and then we break it down with lacquer thinner. When the lacquer thinner dries, the glazing compound becomes very rigid and hard and not brittle because it's flexible. We'll have the formula online for you if you want to try it. I've been using it for 35 years. I really like it. It's quite easy to work with and definitely easy to clean up.
We'll have that on our website.
Yeah, we'll have the formula on the website for you. We'll make it printed, or make it so that you can print it out and give it a try. You can make it as small batch as a half pint or as large as a gallon at a time. We usually make about a gallon at a time, and here at the glass studio. Today we're finishing up this the cross window that we talked about, and so we're to the point on this window where we are going to be using the reinforcing bars. Eventually gravity will pull it down. Even though you've stretched the lead can still stretch a little more. It takes a long time, but eventually it will do that. So what we're trying to do is we're going to prevent that by using this 1/8 inch by 1/2 inch steel bar. When you're soldering these rebars, you want a nice little wave down the bar right onto the part of the lead where you're fastening the solder itself. So the first thing you have to do is flux it. And just a little tidbit of information: ruby flux is expensive, but ruby flux is the best. So now we want that nice little wave. See that wave coming down? So we want that nice little wave on our solder joint so that we get this very rigid and stabilized window now. You don't have to have rebar on every window. If you're doing small windows, you can always put your reinforcing strip inside the lead if you choose to. But we're gonna do a joint here that has only been fluxed. And first thing we're gonna do is heat that up. Okay? And then we're gonna go back in and flux that again. And then we're going to take a little bit of solder, and then we're just going to get it hot. And you see how the solder ran down right there? We're going to put a little bit more. And there's our wave. Very rigid, won't come off. So take your time. This is what matters if the window stays together or not for a long period of time. Take your time, do it correctly, and your windows will last your life and your grandchildren's. I want my grandchildren to go say, "Oh, Papa Ed built those." Not have to go fix them. So we'll do a final cleaning on it tomorrow after we attach this rebar. And once we attach that, we'll be ready to put it on the truck. Take it for a 100-mile ride. So once we attach the rebars, of course we're soldering them to the lead. So once we attach the rebars, we just come back and take just a black patina. And not only do we put the patina on the joint, but we'll also take and knock down the tinned part of the rebar and make it a pewter or black color, just like the lead. So that it really will, eventually will just disappear. Because these are tinned, they won't rust either. So 40 years ago when I started building stained glass windows, the steel bars were just steel bars. And you had to heat them with a torch to tin them. And then after you tinned them, they would rust in about a year. And so we started tinning them, soldering them, and then sliding paper under the joints, and we started spray painting them black. Boy, what a fiasco that was. But they quit rusting. So, and then they have the tin bars now, so they don't rust at all. So, progress moving forward. Okay, down the hill, my friend. So we have about 2 miles to go, and we'll be taking our exit to Dillon, South Carolina.
Please support us. Subscribe.
Yeah, just subscribe. Bottom right here. There's a bell over there going to be to your right. Click on the bell.
I don't know if we're having a bell yet.
We may not have a bell. We might have to ring something else.
You could give us a thumbs up.
That'd be great.
And leave a comment.
Things coming up. We are.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends about us.
It's free.
It's free. Our newsletter is getting ready to start coming back out through the Conway Glass channel at conwayglass.com.
In the parking lot.
Come out and meet ARTyRv. He's going to be all ready to go and introduce himself. We're going to have our new ornaments out.
Pumpkins.
And we'll have some pumpkins. So those types of things. The dates, you see them right here behind me. November the 21st, which is a Saturday. And then we have December the 5th, which is another Saturday. And we have December the 19th. Don't forget to like our channel.
And subscribe.
So our glazing compound recipe is very simple. It's your DAP 1012 for steel sash.
We're not going to tell it.
We're not going to tell it, Barb said.
We're going to make you go to the website.
We're going to make you go to the website
and take it and print it out.
And take it and print it out. However, it's going to be free. But you know what? $5, we'll have questions that you can ask me, and it'll be a one-on-one answer from me to you about conference with me for $5. 5 minutes, $5.